Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with episode 7 fucking teen of Wayfarers season fucking 2 with the hottest Dungeons and Dragons party on the internet. We've got Mendax's chair. We've got Nigel, the wizard. We've got Apoptosis 808. The best dungeon master ever, and we continue with Wayfarers. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you what happened last time. Last time, the party got a mission from Mr. Truehorn, the leader of the wilds, and their city was being besieged by the evil plague people. And the Wayfarers thought, well crap, we can't fight that whole army, what should we do? And what did he say? He said you have to go to a secret ruin to go under the ground into the city. So, the team was getting their rest, they got attacked 19 times, and they made it to the ruin. We continue with Wayfarers.
Oh boy, welcome back everybody. It is time for another episode of Wayfarers. Once again, it has been too long since we've all assembled. I think we were a little faster this time. Another wonderful introduction from Mr. Jimothy. I think missing only just one minor detail I'm gonna adjust in there. Lord Truehorn gave you a twig from the world tree that the whole sort of the wilds is based around, saying to give this to one of the individuals there, name, just to remind everybody because I have it written down, Larian Brigg, and she would know what to do with it, and that once you did that, it should all be okay, and then the caravan of people should be able to enter the city. But besides that, I think Jimothy did a fantastic job.
I had a question.
Yes.
Did you say there was one person named Larian Brigg, or two people named Larry and Brigg?
You're gonna have to find out.
All right.
Really hoping for two.
Has anyone seen Larry?
They're a tiefling as well, he told us, and I don't think we've met any tieflings in this campaign other than Mendax, right?
We have not.
Very, very few.
Yeah, not a single one that we know of that has ever been described to us.
Yeah, I don't think I...
And we're going Highlander rules, so I'm going to kill them the second I see them before they even speak, because there can be only one.
All right, well, that's a problem. Thank you for warning me.
I'm the token tiefling in this story.
That is going to cause some disruption in my plans.
A lot of people do distrust tieflings because of their appearance. It's not very fair, but a lot of creatures have horns, and it's okay to be horny.
Forever horny. A tiefling's curse.
Yeah.
It's the story of title of my autobiography.
Yeah, it's a good title, real page turner, that one.
I don't have that problem.
Except when they get all sticky and stuck together.
Oh, you guys are so silly and desperate. If only you were just smooth with the ladies like Nigel.
Yeah.
Don't know what being lonely and miserable and horny is about.
Well, not everyone can be oozing charisma like yourself.
Oh, God. It begins. It begins. Any questions about anything that happened in the previous session or...
Oh, there was a reminder.
Today?
Yes, there was a reminder from the chat. It's been a bit since we've had an episode, and we wanted to make sure you didn't forget that Carl can speak wind.
Certainly not.
Very true.
I will remind you, though, that just as where you guys are now, Carl definitely can't speak wind, by the way, and you guys have just made it to the ruins, which is you were told is an old sort of ancient Centaur settlement, and you can kind of see that it's crumbling. It's definitely very old. You see that there's vines growing up the sides of the buildings, what remains of them anyways, and you can see several statues and sort of heroic monuments that are placed about. You guys just arrived and I think rested for the night, and you've now awoken the next day. You know that you're supposed to find this underground passageway. He said it was a secret passageway, but he did not actually tell you how to find it or activate it or any of those things. So that's kind of on you guys and what you would like to try to do. Right now you're on the outskirts of the city, just kind of hitting those very outer buildings. But I leave it in your hands if there's no other questions. what would you guys like to do?
So we've reached the whole ruined city complex. We're there.
Yes.
All right.
Yep, the outskirts of it. So you've camped out in one of the first ruined buildings, which everything is basically made of stone. Some of them are more intact than others. You can find different debris and things like that as you've looked around this first building that you're sort of camping out in to take shelter from the elements. You have found like very old, maybe shards of pottery and things like that as well. So it is very, very old, but it's certainly not without like sort of litter, if you will, from that civilization.
And there's no one there.
No, not that you can tell. Anyways, there's nobody that lives here. From your understanding, the settlement has been long abandoned. From obviously the Centaurs, unsure. You guys aren't sure exactly what caused them to either abandon the settlement or get wiped out. Who really knows? But certainly in more recent times, it's just too unprotected against the plague eaters. It's a little too far into the forests in order it's a little too far away from the world tree, as they call it, to be protected by that settlement and sort of by that area. So nobody really lives there. It'd be considered very dangerous to be out here.
Well, we're here now, and we eat danger for breakfast.
We
do.
Do eat danger for breakfast.
Yes. Let's scout the buildings.
Breakfast is danger.
Yes. I will scout the buildings, and I'll sneak about as though I'm a secret agent.
Okay. Are you guys trying to go? You guys are trying to try to go kind of more stealthily forward. What's your vibe? Are you're unsure if there are people here or if there is anybody in these settlements? Is that right?
I think we wouldn't want to make unnecessary noise. We've been attacked many times on this traveling.
Yes, I feel like we'd be erring on the side of caution at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's any special caution, but like basically, I think our standard mode at this point is hushed speaking at all times when we're not inside a settlement. Walking, we're not sneaking, but we're not, tramping about.
Sure, you're not announcing your presence.
We're not holding hands and singing songs as we walk forward together. But we could do a musical episode.
No, we can't. We can't do that.
Sounds like the best idea ever.
The tree, gnarled and knotted tree, it has the face of Busey upon it. Yeah, I can do it.
Until the retching starts. No, not the Busey. Not the Busey. That might be what you see. It's not what I see.
Good God.
We've got it. It's happening.
So I think
even Buffy did a musical episode.
It was good too. That was a fun
episode.
It was.
Yeah. It's a classic.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where you're like, what's happening? And then you're like,
what is going on? What is happening? That's fair. Okay, if we're past the musical segment of Wayfarers, we've passed that hurdle so far.
Let's head towards the center of the city and look for meaningful buildings, squares, meeting places, that sort of.
Sure. This settlement is not massive necessarily. It's not like a sprawling city, if you will, but it's not particularly small either. It looks like it would have housed maybe 1,000 to 1,500 inhabitants. Maybe less, since centaurs are typically a bit larger, but that's your general idea here. You guys walk for about, we'll say 20 to 30 minutes or so. You guys are taking your time. You're kind of looking around, and give me perception rolls on each of you.
Perceptive bird.
That's funny. I'm just going to go ahead and say 4 even before I roll anything.
Okay.
Oh, son of a shit! It's 20.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
I'm really on edge.
10 plus 6 is 16.
Walking into a bush and not seeing 2 zombies.
15.
Okay, so we have a 20, a 16, and a 15. Ash, as you are as you are walking along, specifically, you're keeping, as you've mentioned, a very keen eye out. You're kind of on edge after being attacked the past 2 nights that you've spent in this wilderness. So you're just keeping your eye out for any sort of danger or anything of interest. As you proceed forward, you kind of are taking special note of, yeah, there's quite a lot of different monuments. It looks like large-scale statues that have been built. Whether it is kind of just generic, art, or if it's depicting some heroic moment, you're not really sure. None of you are familiar with the history of this Centaur, I would say, civilization that lived here. But you guys are approaching the center, and you see that one statue in sort of the very middle of this settlement. The whole settlement itself is kind of set up as a circle. All paths are sort of eventually leading into the center area. You guys enter essentially a plaza. The ground is a mixed match of stone and dirt with some overgrowth, as it's been a very long time, but you can tell that this was probably sort of the main intersection of the city itself, maybe where there was the most trade, and you can tell that as the center of the plaza has a very large monument of a very heroic looking centaur. It looks like it was maybe even made out of a higher quality stone, or more care went into its craft work, as it's mostly intact. It's not as worn down and crumbling as the other monuments, or even as the other buildings are. And you rolled a 20, you said? Okay, that's pretty good. You've also noticed that there's, of the buildings that are kind of around you, it looks as if they would be set up almost as different sort of shops or boutiques, or maybe places to eat, or libraries, even things like that. A lot of different types of storefronts in this center area. So again, it looks like this is really the main hub of the city. You guys are just entering that sort of main plaza area. The whole plaza itself is maybe 800, 900 feet in diameter, so it is quite large. Again, you guys figure this is a city that was made for quite large creatures. Centaurs, I think most of you guys probably, well, you guys know of for sure. Maybe you've even met one or two. They're quite rare, but they're pretty large. They're huge, so they take up a lot of space.
I'd like to go and give a physical exam to the big statue in the middle.
Okay.
Check that it's got all of its toes, the giblets are intact, all that sort of stuff. See if there's anything unusual.
Yeah, roll me an investigation.
Not medicine?
Not medicine.
Physical? No?
Funny enough, you would...
Are you sure, though?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Pretty sure.
Oh, actually, I get an extra +1 on investigation. It's 14 plus 6, 20.
Wow. All right. Very, very solid. Let me ask you this. What languages do you speak, Mr. Pig?
Oh, that's something I don't...
Certainly now by level 7, you've had some languages written down. Or maybe not. Have we never written down languages?
I speak Draconic and Common.
Draconic and Common?
I speak...
No way, those are the...
I speak Orin, Common, and Infernal.
Okay.
Common, Infernal, Thieves' Cant.
Okay, fantastic. Unfortunately, none of those are in the language of the placard that you see that is below, sort of chiseled in stone. Sorry, not in stone, rather, but like a bronze plating. It's the first one you've seen that's had such care kind of put into the statue. But there's some spelling. It depicts some sort of scene here.
Sorry, in my original character sheet, I had to go back. It's like literally in a previous document. I also speak Elvish and Giant.
Speak Elvish.
Just real quick, Mendax. Quick side thing. We can both speak Infernal, so if we ever need to like talk shit about someone or communicate something secretly, we can do that. So. that sort of thing. That's what I was thinking too. So let's just go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see one thing real quick. What in the hell? How do I see? Okay, it's not Elvish. The language that's on here is not Elvish. You recognize it because a lot of the books that you read to study Elvish, they sort of reference like another woodland folk language called Sylvan. You recognize the characters on this placard as being Sylvan, which is like a close cousin to Elvish, but you can't. It's kind of just a jumbled garbledygook, if you will. So you can't really make out any sort of idea of what it's trying to say, but you do recognize what the language is.
And so I investigate the Centaur. Does it have any missing toes or anything? Is its junk intact?
Sure. You rolled 16 total, or you said 16 plus 4? I can't remember.
14 plus 6, 20.
Oh, 14 plus. Okay, perfect. Got my numbers mixed up. Yeah, you do a thorough examination. You're looking for anything that looks obvious to you. You're relatively familiar with. There's a number of ways that secret doors could be kind of triggered.
Things.
Yeah.
I'm like seeing if there's any levers or anything, you know.
Exactly.
Poking eyeballs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you don't see anything kind of out of place. You're kind of pushing on different maybe buttons. You're pushing on eyes and trying to get a sense of, is one of these a lever to activate some sort of door? You don't find anything like that on the Centaur. However, during your investigation, you do notice on the ground that there are telltale signs of something large being shifted, of this statue being moved. So you actually feel quite certain that this statue is more than likely the opening to whatever underground passageway that this is. You see sort of these scuffed, like stone against stone drag marks, which look much more recent. If you remember, Lord Truehorn said that they have used this a couple of times in recent history. Recent history could be quite a number of years, but certainly that stands out to you as being more fresh than anything else that's happened in these ruins. So you feel confident that you found it, but you don't know how to move it.
All right, so I share that info with Carl and Mendak, and then I try to climb on top of this door, see if I can ride it like a horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a acrobatics check. It's very tall. It's huge. So.
Is there a place for us to put like a little quarter in so that Nigel can get a bit of a ride?
There's not.
1. 1 plus 2 is 3.
Well, fantastic. Luckily for skill checks, there are no critical fails. I would so love for you to critically fail this, but you attempt to climb up it and fall off sort of halfway through spectacularly. You don't injure yourself, but you realize this might be a bit more of a difficult challenge to climb up than you previously anticipated.
Right. That kind of hurt. Hey, Mendax, you're good at jumping and climbing things. Do you want to see if you can get up there and see if there's anything you can pull on, any levers or anything?
Why would they make the secret entrance involve a climbing exercise?
Do centaurs like people riding them?
No, not at all, really.
No.
It's actually
Definitely
like the
not.
most offensive thing you can do in their culture. I mean, to be associated with beasts of burden, it's kind of offensive, actually. That's why they're quite reclusive from the so-called civilized societies that use their, physically similar, though the centaurs would not say they're cousins or anything like that. They see them the same way we see dogs at most.
Give me a history check, actually. Mr. Pig.
13 plus 6, 19.
You know that centaurs, it is considered a grave offense to just jump on the back of one, and it is seen as a symbol of absolute trust between them and another humanoid for to allow them to ride on your back, because that is their most vulnerable spot. They can't possibly defend themselves from you in that situation. So, it's a little bit of lore for you there.
I recite that as well, and then I also do the Harry Potter bow to it as well. It works like
Buckbeak.
I don't know what this is. What if we needed to activate it by uttering a word of power or a phrase? Like, move, statue, get out the way. Get out the way, statue, get out the way. I would do that. Did it work?
No. It did not.
We could try that in like
Just could try though.
I guess. I don't speak Sylvan. To potentially, you know, it is related to Elven, and if the elves have been using it, I imagine maybe it responds to Elven as well. We didn't get any like items or anything, right?
We got the twig from the tree. Does it look like it has room in its hands? Like, is it that we could, like, I don't know, place the twig in its hands, or like, you know, did the tail fall off and we put the twig in a tail hole up its bum, like a pencil sharpener?
Try like brushing it on the centaur.
Giddy up. Just
No, yeah,
use it as a crop.
I like the ingenuity. None of those things work. No, the statue does not have any like signs of aging or crumbling. So there's no obvious spot that you could stick the twig, if you will. You mentioned their hands, however, and you notice that unlike every other I'm just gonna try to go on. Unlike every other monument that's within this city. This centaur is not wielding a weapon, and its hands are indeed kind of barren, if you will. It looks as if, though, they would be wielding a weapon of some sort, but it is missing.
Oh, so we just need to find the thing to put in its hand so it'll be happy and let us pass.
Maybe.
How is it holding its hand? Is it holding it up like spear, down like sword, fingers like holding an arrow?
Yeah, it is kind of. It looks in the way that it's holding like a two-handed weapon of some sort. Like it's using both its hands, grabbing onto something that looks like it's maybe gonna bring kind of down.
I'm gonna see if I can find like a branch or anything like that around where. So I've kind of got like the dimensions of it in mind.
It could be a
Any
specific
object of that
weapon that
size.
needs to be put there.
You said you were gonna look for a branch. Is that what you said? You kind of cut out just for a second.
Yeah, a branch.
Okay.
But if I find an actual weapon lying around, of course, then I'll grab that. But otherwise, just like any sort of stick or long, there's like a rod of metal or anything like that.
Yeah, you set off on your search. Are you just checking kind of the general area around you? Are you going into any of the shops that are nearby? You just kind of looking around you and seeing what's around, sort of deal?
Square first. If there's nothing promising there, then I'll just go into the buildings kind of in order of how important they look. If they all look the same, I'll just start going shop to shop, basically.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you sort of look just around the general surroundings. You are able to find some branches, some twigs, but really nothing that looks like it could be as large as what he's holding there. So nothing that quite fits the right shape and size. Any of the shops in particular? Or you're just going to kind of start in order, you said?
Yeah, is there like a building that looks more like it's like a town hall or anything bigger?
Yeah, there is a building that looks a bit more large. Again, a lot of these buildings are pretty big, but yeah, there's like a town hall structure.
Yeah, I'll check out there first.
Okay. Mendax and Call, what are you guys opting to do?
I would think that the key to unlocking this should be in the area somewhere. So I might look around for it as well. In my mind, it would be a specific weapon that it would want to have there, not just any old tree branch.
Okay.
Also, I might think about my own scythe and, like, kind of eyeball it of, like, would that be...
That's... Okay, I wanted to bring that up to, like, Nigel, why don't we try your scythe? Maybe the thing isn't finding it's possible. I mean, it seems most likely we're finding its weapon, but it could also be you need to disarm yourself before it will allow you passage. So maybe giving it a two-handed weapon, a very strong weapon, is kind of a test of trust.
Right.
My 9 inches of oak is rather solid, but yes, I think the scythe of Carl should be a bit more active.
Yeah, and if it gets stuck, then we can just take an episode to be sad together.
Okay, yeah.
If we have another weapon sink into the lava, I mean, the statue just snaps it in half and then moves. That would be...
Roast on the ground. So you are going to take your scythe and try to put that into the Centaur's hands, yeah?
Yeah, I'll try that first before I look around.
Sure. Give me an acrobatics check. You're going to need to climb up onto the Centaur in order to reach. I mean, it's quite a far distance off the ground. Maybe the statue itself probably is a total of about 18 to 20 feet tall. It's huge.
1 + 3 is 4.
Okay, you are equally unsuccessful in finding a foothold in order to climb up even the side of the Centaur. So it's quite difficult for you to get up there.
It's okay, guys. I've got this. I'll climb up there and you can hand me the scythe.
Okay.
What are you fucking
I'm excited
credit
for the
now?
1 + 6. That's great.
Let's go. No, it's a 15 + 9.
Oh yeah, 24 with very, very, very easy for you. You're able to quite quickly find a foothold that seems so obvious to you, and scurry your way up the side of the Centaur and up to in reach of its hands very fast.
I just stepped on its ghoulies from the back.
Yep. Sure.
I will hand up the scythe.
You have the scythe now, and you go to place it into the Centaur's hands. It looks like definitely a little mismatched as far as size goes. It's not quite the right size for the Centaur to hold in its hands. It's
so
like
he's a size queen then.
It's like having a toy weapon in his hands compared to how large this Centaur is. Sure. But regardless, you pop it into his hands, nothing happens. It was a good thought, though.
Never mind, then. It looks like we're going to need something much bigger. Much girthier.
Right.
Yeah. Specifically the girth.
Yeah. It should be
It's
heavier
the most important, really.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think smell matters or no? Probably not.
Well...
No. No. It's a statue. Think about it.
I mean, if it smells, I'm not going to put my hands on it and climb up it.
That's fair.
Put it in. I'm not going to climb up and put it in if it smells.
Well, we need to find it first.
Oh, God.
So I will now go and look around.
I'm going to hand him back his scythe before he goes, and then I'm going to
good.
climb down and help look.
Just want to play D&D.
And inviting on the Wayfarers was a big mistake.
It's like A-Pop tries to play D&D and then 3 lewd, horny bastards derail at every
There's
possible
nothing
point.
wrong. It's just figuring out the detail. We were talking about how in depth we want our D&D campaign to be.
That's
You
true.
know how realistic.
Yeah.
I personally am going through my backpack and my inventory to find lubricant. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just...
No? Yeah.
Oh, we probably do have oil flasks.
I think we do. Some
Most
one of us.
Yeah, we definitely have oil floss.
I don't think that's how we activate
We
this.
used it to lube up some hinges way back in the day.
Oh yes, yes, you did. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, horniness aside, we should probably try to find the weapon.
Yes.
Are you each gonna search together? Are you going to search individually? What is the goal? Let me know what you guys want to do. Nigel, you mentioned going to the town hall kind of structure. Call Mendax, are you gonna go with him, or are you gonna search other buildings?
If the place doesn't seem dangerous, we might as well check different places to make it go faster.
Okay, sounds good. We'll just say you each sort of start in different corners. Well, corners, it's a circular plaza, but different sections, almost like a triangle search pattern in a way. Nigel, you go to the largest structure. Call and Mendax, you go, again, you can't necessarily tell exactly what the shop or place would be, but you guys go to opposite sides. You're searching in different areas. Go ahead, everybody, give me an investigation.
Detective Carl is on the case. 17
23.
17 plus 5 is 22.
Wow.
17 plus 6 is 23.
Well,
6 plus 6 is 12.
Oh man. Yeah, fantastic. We will start with Nigel first. Nigel, you definitely see as you're searching around the rubble and the rocks again, the roof of this building has somewhat caved in. So the daylight from the outside is shining in. Otherwise, the inside is pretty dark. Do you want to light a torch as you go farther, like deeper into the building so that you can see better, or are you going lights out here?
Yeah. If there's not a lot of light coming in, I'll just light a torch.
Okay. The main area, there is a good amount of light for you to see. You're sort of moving around some of the rubble. You do find, again, some of those... I would almost just call it litter at this point, but it is sort of pieces from this ancient organization or this ancient culture. You're finding different sorts of things. Your shards, a few bundles of clothes, some very tattered and old, kind of disintegrating rags in a way. Your search of the main room doesn't yield any results, as you're not really able to find anything of note. No books or anything like that might help you on your journey here. You go farther back into the building, and give me a perception check.
Perceptive wizard. Oh, sorry. That was kind of halfway between two numbers. Let me roll that again. 16 plus perception is plus 2, 18.
As you start heading towards the back, you see that there is a room. Again, it's completely sort of closed off. You went down a hallway, and you can see that your light shines off of a couple of what look to be eyes. Some gleam, like shine, in the back. And they're staring kind of back at you, kind of closer to the ceiling. And you sort of freeze in your steps. Small, sort of beady eyes.
I'm going to tell Ratty to run in ahead of me to get a closer look at them. He's got night vision.
Sure. Yeah, Ratty runs forward. Give me a stealth check for Ratty.
Go familiar. 11.
Okay. I actually don't know what the stats for a rat are.
Hopefully pretty good at sneaking.
Worse than you would imagine. So, would you get an 11?
Yeah.
Good enough. Ratty runs forward, scurries forward, and you can see as you channel into his vision like a warg. You see that on the ceiling are hundreds of tiny bats that are all hanging upside down. Maybe not hundreds. Lots of tiny bats.
14.
14 bats. No, more than that.
Oh, 37.
Maybe in that ballpark.
Okay.
Somewhere between 37 and 63.
All right. 55.
Well, you know, I used to need owl feathers, right, to do identification spells or whatever, and maybe I need batwing. Fireball.
Bram! Cooked bat.
What a brutal wizard. He sees a creature and his first thought is to turn him up into ingredients.
Evil Nigel Arc incoming, I'm telling you.
Hey, bats are like they're like the whatever the dark creatures are they spy for the Lich, right? Or they're just a part of nature. Either way, I'm not very up to date on my nature lore, right?
He's not an ecologist.
Evil.
Okay, I'm gonna avoid going into that room, and I'm just gonna kind of send Ratty around to look for things, because I don't want to get swarmed by bats by freaking out. They also smell really bad. When who's been up close with lots of bats, they really. There's this kind of attribute of sleeping upside down, hanging upside down, is you pee and poop on yourself. So yeah, not very hygienic.
That's gross.
You send Ratty around. Give me a perception check. I don't know how this works. Just give me your
basically, I think it's kind of just like mine, but it's from
Yeah.
his eye level. So if something would be obstructed because he can only see from down on the floor.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10. Perception is +2, so 12.
Yeah, you look around the room. Once again, you're finding, if anything similar, there's some broken and pretty rotted wood that's sort of underneath some different sort of like layers of dust and dirt. It looks like animals have been in here. Obviously, like you said, the bats have their bat droppings, so it's not a very pleasant room to be in. But, you know, Ratty doesn't really care. Nothing of note that you pick out, though, from your search of this room.
All right, no worries. I'll just move on and look in the other rooms in here.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a few other rooms on the ground floor. Give me one more perception check.
7 + 2, 9.
9, very nice. Again, the ground floor rooms are sort of yielding very similar results. It's just a bunch of essentially trash. If you were maybe a historic enthusiast, specifically of Centaur tribes, maybe some of these things would mean more to you. You'd be able to have some more information about it. But from what you can tell and what's useful for you, you're really unable to find anything of note. So, not really anything, unfortunately, on the ground floor. There is an upstairs to this building, though.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll head up.
Okay. You head up there. As you do, give me a dexterity save.
Oof. Those stairs get worn out. 4 + 2, 6.
Absolutely. The stairs, which at further inspection, how could you have missed this, are much, much, much more aged and rickety than you had originally anticipated. You make it about halfway up, and the stairs collapse in on themselves. And piles of rock and rubble come hurtling to the ground with you along with it. You're unable to make a jump to clear the area, and you fall to the ground, the rocks kind of tumbling and hitting you. Not giant-sized boulders, necessarily, but again, these were stairs large enough to support centaurs going up. But just through the ages, they have taken a bunch of damage. You are going to take a total of 15 damage as the rocks kind of smash into your legs and your side. Give me a strength check.
Oh. That's my mad noise when I get hurt.
So manly.
Strength saving throw or?
Yes, strength saving throw.
15 + 1, 16.
Okay, you are able to move the rocks and rubble off of you and sort of pull yourself free of the stone that has landed on you. But you see now that the stairs to the upper section has about an 8-foot gap now between the bottom and the top. The top of the stairs from the ground level are probably about 15 feet off the ground.
I'm gonna whimper my way back into the square and just find whoever's closer, Carl or Mendax. I figure, obviously, people have used the statue lately. No one's had to go upstairs and back down here or anything like that, most likely.
Sure.
What are the chances the stairs would collapse only on me? You know, not huge.
Yeah,
being
Ribbons is
myself.
just sitting in the middle of the square. You guys didn't tell him to go anywhere, so he's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
I'll hobble back over to Ribbon, see if he can has any band-aids.
Yeah, he will, he'll heal you up. Why not? He will heal you for... 1 second. A total of 7 health. As he reaches out his arms and kind of lays his clammy, slimy fingers on your leg and side. A jolt of unnatural, sort of icky energy.
I'll ask Goop to heal me as well.
Okay, yeah, Goop.
With his impressive, 3 life max heal or whatever it is.
Hey, he's doing his best. Goop will bust out the that musical canister, pops in the top of his head. And he will heal you for a total of 3.
I called it.
Yeah.
Goop, I appreciate it. Sometimes we overlook you. Sometimes you may think we forget you're there. You're just a little golem along for the ride. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, he kind of just stands there.
Give him.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. You are in the middle of the square, healed up a little bit more, but unfortunately your search has not proved to be very fruitful for you. Let's see if Mendax and Call are going to have better luck. Mendax, the building that you have gone into, you can see sort of walls, like half walls that are going down and sort of deep. It's like a longer sort of building that goes down maybe a total of 30-40 feet or so, and a lot of wooden rubble on the ground. Give me an investigation check.
All right. Oh, about time. Fuck! Rolled a 4, but +6, so a 10.
Okay. Yeah, as you continue through, you can see, like I mentioned, a lot of different sort of rotted and decayed wood. As you dig a little farther underneath the rubble, you do see now a few pieces of very, very aged parchment, or at least scraps of what looks like it could be paper. The writing on it looks a little too faded for you to make out on some of them. On other pages, or again, these little fragments, you can see that, again, it's a similar looking writing system as what was on the Centaur in the center of the square, which you've come to understand is Sylvan.
Okay, I'm going to kind of not destructively ball them up, but kind of just crick them a bit and then put them in my shirt for safekeeping. Not to make my bosom look bigger, but it's probably going to be a side effect.
Okay.
It could happen to anyone.
As you do that, I mean, a lot of the pages, they kind of just disintegrate into dust and dirt in your hands.
God damn it.
So
in my hands. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, if you want to keep doing that, you can, but you realize, this is probably...
No,
I'm really just picking up
shove
dirt
those
off the
stuff.
ground and shoving it into my shirt.
For safekeeping.
Yeah, protect the dirt, man. I understand.
Okay. I mean, can I gingerly put them into my pack, or is it just picking them up is going to destroy them at all?
Pretty much anything that's on the ground is, the second you touch it or pick it up, anything that looks like it could be, especially paper, it really just turns to nothingness or I mean, the pieces that you can pick up are maybe the size of a fingernail without it disintegrating. It doesn't. You don't really feel like they'll be super useful, but if you really want to, you can pick them up and kind of have them.
Commit as much to memory, at least like some of the symbols to memory as I can, and then probably just move on, continue investigating.
Sure. Did you look at the placard that was on the statue in the center of the courtyard, or did you just kind of take Nigel's word for what it was?
I looked at it, but I didn't investigate it very closely.
Okay. All right. So it might be a little difficult for you to maybe make any recognition at this point, but you can regardless kind of keep an eye out. That's fine. Anything else you want to try to do in this room?
I mean, is there anything large that, you know, a weapon could be under that I could move about? Or is it mostly just small scraps that I can
A lot
see?
of it is, a lot of what's on the floors of this building is a lot of, again, just decayed, kind of rotten wood or very dry, dusty kind of wood. Any of the pages, again, very similar to what you saw before. There is like plants sort of growing up from the ground. So really it just looks like a very abandoned, decayed building, which is, well, exactly what it is. You know, maybe animals have even been in here and have not helped with the preservation of any of the materials that have been in here. Towards the back of the room, you see that maybe there's a few what looked to be like stone tables that were set into the wall, maybe for transcribing or for you know, just sitting at and reading. You're not quite sure. Those are the only real things of note that you're able to see in this room at this point.
Okay. Are there any rooms, like, can I just move further on?
This is the only room, in this, yeah, it's just one large...
Balls.
Yeah, you figure, from what you can gather and from what you've seen, maybe this was like an archive or maybe like some form of a library that they did have at one point. But any of the material that was in this room has since been kind of destroyed through the passage of time.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to chalk this one up to this was the nerd room. Nigel probably would have loved it. And I'll head back out to maybe like start on another building.
Okay. Sounds good. Mr. Call. Kenku the Birdbarian.
Yes.
The building that you have entered has several, best way to put it. It's a large kind of open clearing room. You don't see really any stonework that was done in this room. So it essentially looks blank, like empty. But you can see that there is like an upstairs platform that does lead down a hallway or two, but it doesn't look as if there's any way to get up there. Again, you find a lot of similar things to what Mendax did, in that underneath the rubble in the stone and rock and now foliage that's growing in this room, there's a lot of wood. A lot of just decayed wood. You don't really see anything else. There's no cloth, there's no paper, anything like that. But you get the sense that maybe there was once a stairwell that went up to the second floor, but that maybe was made of wood, and it has since collapsed long ago.
Well, I can climb.
Yeah, you can certainly give it a shot. It's probably about 20 feet above you. So it's a rather large clearing.
Well,
if you want to try to climb,
yeah, with my Path of the Demon, I actually have once per day I can choose climbing, jumping, or swimming.
Okay.
And I can be a climber today.
Okay. So you're going to choose for today to become a climbing demon, if you will. I don't know how that works exactly, but all right, sure. Sounds good. What does that give you? What are the benefits you get from that?
So, in the climbing ways, you gain climbing speed equal to your walking speed. You can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check.
Okay, fantastic.
Creepy as all hell.
Yeah, this sort of dark, almost like energy, this negative energy pours out of your fingers and your feet, and plant you into the wall as you are able to scurry up the side of it like some kind of exorcist demon and make your way to the top balcony.
Woo!
Yeah.
I've climbed.
You have, very easily. As you stand on the balcony, you get this sense it's not the most stable, as it does shift slightly under your feet. So you are a little apprehensive on if maybe the supports for this building were made out of wood as well. You're not quite sure how long it will hold up. But you see that in front of you there's a hallway, and behind you there's a hallway, and several openings, rooms from what you can tell, again, with there's some wood that's kind of attached to what would be a door frame. You get the sense maybe this was a tavern or something of the such. An inn for visitors.
Would these be centaur-sized rooms or regular person rooms?
It looks as if they're all potentially large enough to house centaurs if needed. But, you know, it doesn't necessarily count out that other sized creatures may be staying in this inn. They just get a really large room.
Well, I will go through and I'll kind of keep my hands near the wall in case the floor collapses so I can still, like, spider bird.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity save. There's about 6 rooms on this upper floor from what you can see, and more down the hallway.
So, as a birdbarian, I have danger sense, which means I have advantage on dex saving throws.
Fantastic.
Okay. So that's a 12 plus 3 is 15. 16 plus 3 is 19.
Okay. As you enter the first room, you're sort of, again, very cautiously entering, keeping yourself very close to the wall in case you need to hold on to something. Indeed, the floor does give way underneath your feet.
Whoa!
But you were already very well prepared for this, already expecting it to happen, essentially. And now there's sort of this giant, I would say, 7 feet in diameter hole that's opened up in the entryway of one of these rooms. It looks like the rest of the ledge, it's kind of caved in from the ledge, so it's split the hallway in half now a bit. But you are able to cling onto the surface of, the surface of the walls, and keep your stability.
Oh shit! I'm okay. I'm a climbing bird.
Yeah.
Kenku can't fly, but I can stick to walls.
There you go.
With a demon soul. Is there anywhere else I can go? Can I check the rooms like this?
Yeah, you can try to climb on the walls.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just gonna peek in the rooms.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
It's a 2 plus 5 is 7.
7. I mean, yeah, you check, we'll say 3 of the rooms kind of nearest you as you're now just basically climbing on the walls like Spider-Man. Yeah, again, unfortunately, just not seeing anything of note. It looks like it's been essentially cleared out. Any of the debris and rubble that you see on the ground doesn't look extremely helpful for what you're looking for. You see a lot of... there is some tattered cloth and maybe even bedding, some straw and feathers that may have been part of maybe like a bed or something like that in the area, but really nothing beyond that that's really helping you find the answer to what you're looking for.
Damn. Well, it's an interesting building. I feel like I've learned a little bit about Centaur architecture. They make shit floors. How is it supposed to hold up their weight? Who designed this? Maybe that's why they left.
Probably a Centaur. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, anything else you want to do there? There are more rooms you can check if you'd like to. You don't feel very encouraged by your findings in the first 3 rooms.
I'll be thorough and just check the building.
Okay. Sure. There are a total of 6 more rooms. If you want to make another investigation check, you can.
Let's do it.
Okay.
11 plus 5 is 16.
Okay. You check the other rooms. They each some of them have an opening to the outside. Maybe that would have been a window that has obviously since been destroyed and kind of tattered at this point. As you check the last room, give me a perception check.
Perceptive bird.
Mm-hmm.
2 plus 5 is 7.
You don't notice anything. Nothing of importance to you.
Well, maybe I'm not the best detective, or maybe the weapon just isn't here. I guess I can go to another place.
Yeah, I mean, you feel pretty confident that what you're looking for, based on, I mean, again, the scythe you have is not small, so this would definitely stand out to you. So you don't feel, you feel very confident in your searching that you've not missed just, oh, it was just sitting in the corner and I didn't see it, or something like that. No, nothing like that. You did a very thorough inspection of the rooms.
Do I also just feel confident,
Yeah, you definitely feel confident in general, as you pretty much always do, and also that you search the rooms to the best of your ability.
That's good. I'll be sure to tell the others about their shit flaws.
Okay, fantastic. You head back down out of what you, again, assume and guess is the tavern, and back into the center of the square where you see Mendax, Nigel, Ribbons, kind of now all conferring. It looks as if Nigel has sustained a little bit of damage, and maybe was not as dexterous as you were when it came to searching the second floor of a building.
Ah, looks like someone wasn't possessed by a climbing demon.
I thought centaurs are quite large beasts. I figured they'd make their staircases out of stone, something that would weather the ages a bit better.
Well, the building I searched didn't even have a staircase. But it did have an upstairs. Really? Yes, and I went up there, and the floor collapsed under me. It was the shit floor. I want to speak to the architect.
So, no success?
Well, I successfully discovered they have architectural issues that may have been an issue for this whole town surviving. And if they planned better, Centaur are heavy creatures. You can't just house a bunch of people upstairs with a shit floor. Bad things will happen.
That's why they're all gone. Maybe they all kept falling through the floor.
That's what I think.
My poor Centaur civilization.
They all died due to
Who knew their architecture would be cursed? I guess. Okay. Sorry.
They should have built out of stone instead of wood. That's my opinion.
They did build out of stone. Almost
for the
everything's made out
walls,
of...
but not the upstairs floors.
Okay. All right.
So how about we, there were other statues we saw all throughout the town, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They were smaller, though. Maybe if we just walk around, though, we can see if there's another statue that has a weapon in its hands. Perhaps we can take it from there and put it in the hand of this creature. Keep an eye out for anything else as well, as that might not necessarily be the solution to the puzzle.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
It's still daylight, I believe, right?
Oh, yeah. You guys have been searching maybe 2 hours. It's maybe like 11 a.m. still. You guys got up nice and early.
All right. I'm happy to split up then, and we kind of just like all go in directions and circle around the town.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Meet back here in an hour or two, I guess. If we don't find, maybe 1 hour if you don't find anything.
And also, if you happen to fall through a floor, the code word is help, help, I've fallen through the floor. And that way we'll know to go help you.
Good plan.
Thanks.
Okay. You're all gonna just die one day.
That's life. Except if you're a lich.
Okay, what's the general search pattern you guys are doing? You guys are in the center of essentially a large circle. Are you going to each of the monuments that you've seen? Are you kind of just spreading out and trying to what's the plan?
Yeah, I'll go through and I'll look at any of the other statues and see if they have an oversized weapon that could be pulled out there.
Okay. There's several monuments. Are you going to every one of them? Are you guys splitting up and going to each one individually? How are we doing it? Or are you guys sticking together? It sounded like you were splitting up, so I just want to make sure.
Actually, we should just stick together. I think it'll be more fun and safer if we just hang out together.
Yeah, wouldn't want to get bored going off on our own.
Yeah.
Nigel just knows if he's by himself, he'll 100% have to climb or jump.
I like standing in the middle of the sandwich and avoiding scouting, sneaking, jumping, climbing, being tossed.
Also having boulders fall on you.
Yes, that. And no eating stonefish either. I'll leave that for Carl.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys came, let's say, from the western end of the city. So you'll remember seeing one of the monuments back that direction. You guys head back that way. It maybe takes you 10, 15 minutes or so. Are you doing anything on the way there, or are you just trying to make it to that monument and just kind of inspecting that once you get there?
I think we can inspect it when we get there.
Hit this up first, be faster, and then if we don't find something amongst the statues, we can go back to maybe door by door canvassing.
Sure. You make it back to the monument that you saw during your trek from the outskirts of the city to the center. You see it is smaller. It's maybe only about 10 feet in height in total. But it is another sort of heroic pose. At the bottom of it, once again, it's chiseled in stone, so you can see it's been worn. Even if you spoke the language, it would be difficult for you to make out what it's saying, but it looks like a placard of sort depicting some event or hero or whatever it may be. The centaur itself is definitely more decayed than the one that's in the center. This one is holding a shield and an axe, and it is sort of just kind of championing off, almost as if it's in the middle of like a striking pose.
Well, it's a really cool statue.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that those weapons would fit?
Based on you do not imagine for what? Okay, so let's say you guys take a pretty thorough inspection of it. You don't have to roll anything for this. For one, the weapons are a part of the statue. So essentially, the hand and axe hilt are one piece, and same with the shield. This was just chiseled out of one large piece of stone. So in order to get the weapons and the shield off of it, you would need to probably just break off the hands of this.
And because we saw the tracks by the other statue, we know that that's not the one because someone used this before, and that one still has its weapon.
That's true. There you go. Very wise. Very wise. Yeah, you don't get the sense that that you can even take the weapons out of the centaur's hands. It just looks to be a monument of sorts. We'll say you guys continue your search. You're kind of just going to now each of the monuments that you can find throughout the city. You'll take the 2 hours of time in order to kind of canvass the rest of the city. Like I said before, it's not a massive city, but it will take you a good amount of time to kind of go around and try to find all the monuments. You see another one as you continue your search. Or say you came from the west side and you're sort of canvassing it counterclockwise. And so as you're moving south and then eventually more towards the east, you come upon another statue another monument. This centaur has a bow and arrow that has it kind of pulled back. The arrow has been since kind of shattered. Only like half of it remains on the front end. The other half is it looks like it's holding essentially nothing. And once again, it looks very similar to the first one in that the weapon and the what would have been the arrow are kind of cemented into its hands. It's one piece. Again, a very similar looking placard at the bottom of this statue, depicting some event that you can't make sense of. Give me a intelligence check, pig.
Smart wizard.
Good wizard. Smart wizard.
13 plus
13?
6, 19.
Okay. You notice, just sort of haphazardly, you weren't really looking for it necessarily, that the two statues were pointed at each other.
I will share that with you, of course.
There was maybe a mile or so in between these two statues.
Oh, so pretty far. Do you think that they were pointed toward each other because they had feelings for each other? Or do you think it's a clue?
I mean, if these two are pointed towards each other, then perhaps the other one is pointed towards the next one, but that... So maybe we go in the direction that our, the statue that we're trying to figure out, go in the direction
in
it's
the center
facing.
Square, or to where that's pointing.
Yes.
You could check there. You could also check in the center point of where these two are facing. Would that just be in the middle of the plaza?
Yes.
If you think of it like a big clock,
Yeah.
the first monument that you came to was maybe at about 9 o'clock or so, and the second monument that you've now come to is about at the 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock spot. So there's just like, if you can draw a line between those 2 points, you could potentially find the center, but if you want to go to where you guesstimate that center would be, in order to have a more accurate depiction, you would probably have to take some time and maybe even draw a map of the area to try to find, okay, what's the relative center. The cartography skill, which doesn't exist in D&D, but I would put it under... Not quite.
I'm a good DM.
I
Okay?
would put it under... I would honestly probably just make it an intelligence check.
I think we could just try to, estimate it as best we can.
Okay.
And I'll kind of, take note of where the sun is and that sort of stuff. So I will take a few notes, but
Okay.
don't need too crazy methodical, because it's likely looking
Sure.
for things that stand out.
Yeah, and I could also just track the whole path in the direction that it's pointed and just try to go navigating through the buildings and looking down and around on the way there. Because eventually I should get to the other one if they're facing each other.
Yeah. So you let's say you set off going the direct path back to the other centaur statue. Yeah, you do so. For the most part, you can stay on the road. It does clip the sides of a couple of buildings. You do run into a couple of buildings.
Ow! Can't believe I just ran into that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. You're so focused on your You do, yeah, the path does intersect, shall we say, with several buildings. You're not sure if any one of them is the correct one. For now, you're kind of just keeping note of the buildings that you have intersected with and trying to continue along the path as best you can. When you make it back to the other Centaur statue, let's say it takes you maybe 25, 30 minutes to do this. I don't know if you're all going as well. You get back to the other statue, you realize that while they're facing each other, the original statue is slightly skewed in a different direction. They're not perfectly in line with each other, but they're kind of looking in a similar direction. They're looking back at each other in a similar direction. You get the sense you don't have all the pieces put together yet for this puzzle. If there is anything to even do with this. I could just be wasting your fucking time.
Which would honestly be kind of awesome.
I am the most well-read of all of us, and I must say, my instinct, I've always said, trust your instinct. And I feel like if there was 4 of us in opposite corners of the town, each riding a Centaur statue, perhaps it would activate a door and open up.
No, there's no way.
If that's the case, it better help you get on your Centaur now.
And ribbons as well.
You can toss ribbons up on one.
Throw goop on one of them for good measure.
Put goop on the center one.
So they're all looking in a similar direction.
The 2 that you've found so far, yes.
And the center one is also looking in a similar direction?
The center one was, you can't necessarily, it was looking basically directly south, which is more so looking at the second monument that you found, but not directly at it.
So should we go hunt for more?
Are there more statues, or did we see all of them?
You've searched probably 1/4 of the city so far.
Oh.
We haven't checked Ash's idea yet, right? Go to where that original Centaur is pointing.
The southern end, so let's say you've searched, again, if it's like a clock, you've searched from 9 o'clock to about 6 o'clock or so. So that 1/4 of the pie.
It's pointing within that direction, right?
Yeah, because basically.
Okay, so we can
you kind
knock
of
that one out. That one's already kind of done. So that one's not it, but we should probably keep searching for more. We need more data points.
Sure. Are you wanting to continue the counterclockwise search, or are you going to now go from the 9 o'clock since you're there and start going more towards the 12, going clockwise now? Or are you splitting up? Or are you giving up on your quest and leaving?
We should just retire.
quit.
Honestly, puzzles
Yeah,
are too
just gonna
confusing.
I think just keep going in the same direction. I can keep going in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so more towards, so now you're in clockwise. Sure.
Right, going from like 6 to 3, right? Is that the way that we're going? Or are we
Oh,
going
okay,
from
yeah,
9 to-
counterclockwise. Great.
Yes.
So you guys backtrack back to the second monument that you found. And sure enough, as you continue your search, again, a very, very similar look and feel to the city. Dusty. It's kind of just a... It's very... I mean, you're essentially outside. You're in nature. So the air is relatively fresh in this area of the wilds. You're much closer to the world tree than to any of the sort of swampy, disgusting plague areas. So there is a bit of increase in I would say positive aspect to the air quality, where in Hope's End it really just smelled. If bleak can have a smell, that's kind of how inhaling air in that area
Busey's
felt.
armpit.
There you go, exactly.
Oh, God!
The Busey pit.
That's the worst.
You guys continue towards 3
I don't want to think
o'clock.
about any of his nooks and crannies. Like, that's just... no Busey crevices, please.
You guys continue towards 3 o'clock. As you continue moving forward, you don't find any monuments in that sort of section of the city from 6 o'clock to 3. You do a pretty thorough search. You guys have split up. You're now kind of going back and forth in between the streets and in between the buildings to try to see any of these monuments. It's been very obvious. The monuments have been in sort of more major roadways, shall we say. But you guys don't see any in this quadrant of the city. Assuming you guys want to continue on back towards sort of the 12 o'clock area, you find another similar monument at, let's say, about 1 o'clock, 1:30, right in that sort of region. This one is holding two swords, kind of charging off into the distance, pointing those swords forward. And this one is facing sort of towards, we'll say, 7 o'clock, in the direction of those first two monuments that you found as well. So you've got the 9 o'clock one sort of facing more, a bit skewed down. You've got the 6 o'clock one facing a little bit more skewed up. And you've now got this 1 o'clock one that's facing towards the other two.
If they're making a triangle shape, there should be a midpoint between all of them. Oops.
Yes, there is in fact a midpoint. Nigel, give me an intelligence check.
13 plus 6.
You can kind of do it like sort of mental math, if you will, trying to get, based on the topography of the area and sort of the mental map that you've created. You actually know that the center of this triangle is that giant statue that's in the middle.
Okay, so they're all pointing towards the statue in the center.
They're not all pointing towards the statue in the center. The three, if you just draw
it's
a line,
midpoint between them.
It is the
not
midpoint
pointing.
Correct.
Because 9
not all of
o'clock
them.
is skewed down more towards
yes.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is kind of up towards the 9 o'clock, but not quite.
Yes.
They're kind of towards the middle a little bit, but not quite. And then
Not
1 o'clock
looking
is,
directly at each other.
Right, and 1 o'clock is kind of looking in between 6 o'clock. Great.
Mm-hmm. You got it, absolutely.
I give you the wizard intelligence powers.
Which way was the original Centaur in the middle, the big main one facing?
Just towards the south. Kind of not in
South.
any of these. Not within the triangle. It's in the middle of the triangle, but it's more sort of, if you think of the 6 o'clock one as the bottom part of this triangle, sort of maybe slightly to the right of that. So often skewed a bit.
Okay. One more time, because I'm trying to draw this in paint.
Oh,
1 o'clock is
I'll
staring
draw it.
to. Is this going towards? Wait, you're drawing it?
I'll draw it. It's okay.
Okay.
Do 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 boop a doop boop boo drawing.
I heard geometry was a darkened and forbidden magic that was outlawed centuries ago. I had a cousin who got sick because someone cast a trigonometry spell on him.
Not the trigonometry.
I dare not speak of its magics.
That's fucked up.
It is. Trigonometry, not even once.
All right. MS Paint drawing for the win.
Let's go.
Here you go. I'll just post it in our Wayfarers chat.
Top tier art.
So the red X's are all the monuments that you found. The blue one is the giant one that is in the middle, and the arrows that are coming from the X's are the directions that they're facing.
Okay. Well, technically there could still be one more because we haven't done from 12 to 9.
Yep, there could.
Okay, so I think we should probably do that so that we make sure we're not missing one before we start hashing out ideas.
Sure. You guys search 12 to 9, and you don't find any other monuments.
God
you feel
damn
confident these are the only 3, along with the one in the middle.
Mother dick. Okay. 2 swords, bow and arrow, sword and shield. But we're looking for a 2-handed weapon. Probably a large sword, since the scythe was not girthy enough.
I thought it was great.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, you know. You wield it very well.
Thank you. I put the map on the stream just for the viewers. So the blue one is the main statue that's of nicer quality with the marks on the ground. And then the other ones are the stone ones where we couldn't remove the weapons.
Correct.
Okay. Oops, I need to transition that. This is it. Admire the artwork. Yes, he is an expert painter. This took him 45 minutes.
Masterpiece. Dude, I spent all night slavering over it.
Yeah. So we're going to check the rest of the area then to make sure there aren't any other ones.
Yes, you did, and there are none. You feel very confident these are the only 3 monuments, plus the giant one in the center.
Alright, I'm gonna just try and like speak English at them. I'm gonna speak friend at them, you know, that sort of stuff.
Giving some keywords a
passwords.
try.
Yep.
You're going for anything in particular, or just random words that you can think of that might be
Friend,
passcodes?
open, me birthday, a famous centaur's birthday, that sort of stuff.
None of these seem to. Do you have any effect on the monuments or the statue in the center? I don't know which one you were talking to.
One of the other ones. I guess which one are we hanging out at right now, guys?
You
closest
made
to
it
the
from 12
9
to
o'clock.
9, so you'd be at the 9 o'clock one.
Okay, we're at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Also, Carl, can you try like pushing it? Can we like all like push it, rotate this statue? Does it like slide at all?
Push it.
Can we somehow change the angling?
Smart. You all give it a try. Give me a strength check. Call. Actually, all 3 strength checks. Go for it. Why not?
Oh.
7 + 1.
I got a 19 plus 0, but that's still a 19.
Okay, cool. Sick. Call, what'd you get?
Strength check advantage from raging. Do I want to rage?
Your call.
I am Call. Yes, I'll rage.
Okay, so you get advantage. So you roll 2d20, take the highest. And you get +2, if I'm not mistaken, to your check.
14 plus 3 is 17, plus 2 is 19.
You all, that's a very, so 19, 19, and 8, I think you said it was, Pig, total?
8 for me, yeah.
All right, you guys put your back into it. You all push as hard as you can against this statue, trying to see if it will budge, even just a little bit. But your combined strength, along with Call raging, does not shift the statue even a millimeter. It is fucking heavy, and you do not get the sense that it was made to be spun at all.
At least their statues are very sturdy, much sturdier than their floors.
Yeah, perhaps if they'd spent as much care with those, they would still be alive.
We must learn from these lessons. Build our floors like statues. So at least we ruled something out. It was a cool plan.
It was. That's really thinking. You guys are so close.
So there's a point that would be where the two are facing, they're not facing each other. Whenever I was going between the two statues that were looking kind of at each other, I think I just walked directly between them.
Yes, you are basically right on top of the answer to this, so I think you basically have it if you reworded what you just said a little bit.
So yeah, basically I'm looking at where the arrows are pointing from the X's, and there's a point that they would be in the center. That's where I want to go.
What a fantastic idea. You realize that, yes, each of these are facing in a unique direction, and if you draw a line out from every single one of them, they would all intersect at an exact point. And you figure that might just be the spot that you need to go. Call, I give you an inspiration point for figuring out the answer of the riddle.
Let's go.
I don't think I've ever given out an inspiration point. I don't even know if you know what they do.
Is it into
I think you have. No, you did, because you gave him. You gave him one. A bunch of us got them. He got one for blasting the person with the cannon.
Oh,
I don't remember what I got one for. It might have been through like shading through the ship hull or something. I don't remember what. I know Nigel's gotten one before too. I don't remember what it was for, but I do remember every time Carl's got one because it's been something fucking awesome.
Yeah. You actually still have it, Carl. So I'd consider this just a reminder to use it. You can reroll one ability check or attack that you want to, so long as you have this inspiration point. Well, so you unfortunately can't stockpile them, but we'll just say that you.
I could have two of them.
You can't.
I can't be that inspired. There's a critical inspiration amount, and beyond that, you like.
I mean, my brother, you got the last inspiration point like 30 episodes ago.
That's fair.
It's been a while. So we'll just say you. I don't know. I actually literally don't have any other cool thing I can give out to you.
I remember how
best
inspiring it is to discover stuff, and that can change the course of history. And I take a moment to just breathe in this amazing...
Really internalize it.
Yeah, this amazing statue sequence puzzle, and how someone would need to be at least as smart as Carl to even decipher this.
Hell yeah. Carl is smart. He's got an int 14, dude. That's like way smarter than average person. So you're quite wise. Well, oh no, you're pretty wise too. You have a wisdom of 14, so
that's not bad.
Also pretty wise. All your stats are actually kind of busted. I remember you rolled insane, so you're pretty overpowered. You're better than your normal person at everything. Wow. But fantastic. You guys call cracking the riddle, figuring out the answer. I'll give it away. Yeah, that was the answer to the riddle. And you, Nigel, again, in your sort of mental map that you've created, you of course it's so obvious. You sort of play it off of like, yes, I thought that was maybe too simplistic of an answer to this, as if you had known it all along. Can't let your pride be damaged. And quickly you sort of triangulate the center point of all of these statues. You guys walk over there. It maybe only takes you about 15 minutes from where you are, and realize that they come to a cellar that's attached to one of the buildings. This one has got a slab of stone that's just kind of been pushed over the top. And you can see actually that the stone looks to be much newer than any of the decaying and decrepit stone of the buildings that's around you.
That's a nice stone. Anyway, we should probably go. No, just kidding. Let's move the stone.
Okay, give me another strength check.
Would I be able to use my previous rage still, or no?
Rage only lasts like a minute.
How fast did I solve that puzzle?
You'd solved it fast, but the walk over here took 10 minutes, so unfortunate.
I will go at it like a regular bird.
Regular pushing. You're still very strong, so...
Yeah. +3 to the strength for the checks.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, yes! 19 + 3 is 22.
Fantastic. You really put your bird back into it. It is a relatively thick slab of stone, maybe 1.5 inches or so. And you put all of your might and weight into pushing this this slab of stone away from the opening. It takes a lot of your energy and power, but slowly but surely you're able to make progress. And as you overcome the friction at first, you're able to make more and more progress until you create an opening wide enough for you all to venture down into the depths below. You see below you is another stairwell made of stone that trails off into the darkness. And I think that's a perfect spot to pause our session for right now, take our little mid-session break, and when we get back to it, we'll maybe venture down into some dank, dark dungeons.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Wayfarers Live. Episode 17 will be back right after this break. Don't go anywhere, unless you need to go somewhere, in which case, see you later.
Just make quick wee-wee, then come back.
entrance. Don't double click. Single click. Left click, not a right click. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to episode 17 of Wayfarers. The 3 smartest people who have ever played D&D. Just kidding. But they did solve the puzzle after much confusion and walking around this ancient town, which they realized had major architectural issues. Nevertheless, they moved the stone out of the way and descend now into the ancient ruins to find the secret passageway into the city. We continue with Wayfarers.
You guys figured out the puzzle. You figured out the location of this crypt, shall we say, and have opened the gate, the slab, if you will. And now you are about to descend down and into the darkness. What do you guys do?
First of all, you seem extra evil stroking a cat while you ask us what we're about to do.
That's my new cat, Tolkien.
I love him. He's so cute.
He is. He's adorable.
I mean, should we check for booby traps?
You can?
I'm going to check for booby traps with my newly super perceptive eyes.
Okay. Give me a perception.
Yes. I have a feeling it's going to go really well.
Think positive thoughts.
It's a 1.
Okay. How far down are you checking for traps here? Are you like walking down the length of the staircase? Are you just checking the opening? Give me.
I'm just checking like the immediate area. I don't want to like step in first step. You know.
Sure.
Not that it matters now since I won't see shit.
There are no traps. No traps.
Hey guys. 100% sure. There are no traps here. We're safe. It's not here at the front.
Oh, that's a relief. I was really worried. Well, we could descend down.
I was wondering if Lord.
Normally.
Yeah, I mean, if Lord Truehorn is Lord Dickbag, sent us into a passageway that he directed us to, filled with traps at the entrance that he didn't warn us about, I might have a few words for him.
Well,
yes, Lord Dickbag.
well, there's still time for us to hit booby traps. So, if we do, we'll need to be careful, and we'll also chew him out when we get back.
Okay. Yeah, you don't discover any traps.
Oh, first thing, we also should probably let him know, just so he knows and other people know, that you have to do a puzzle to even get in. He didn't say that.
Yeah, honestly, kind of fucked up that he left that part out.
Yeah. Imagine if we were just puzzled people and we just didn't know how to do puzzles. We'd be stuck there forever.
You're the Wayfarers. You guys are smart.
Yeah.
I always believed in you.
We could firebolt it.
Yeah, try.
Climb on it.
All right, let's walk down.
What's the marching order?
I mean, I can go first. I'm sneaky. I'll try to walk up ahead.
Okay.
Very perceptive.
And I'm super confident that there are no traps.
Yeah, who's next?
We'll let Nigel and Ribbons be in the center, and then I'll take the trail.
Yeah, Ribbons will be just behind me.
Okay, sounds good. Mendax, you head down the stairs. You do not activate any traps at the entrance. And you get the feeling that these stairs are kind of set into the ground itself. So they feel much sturdier, very, very sturdy to you. You haven't gone up any of the stairs personally. But when Nigel and Call descend down the stairs as well, you feel way more secure than your previous 2 experiences trying to go upstairs in this city. As you descend down, you walk about 10-15 feet or so. It becomes pitch black. So Nigel, you're unable to see at this point. You can see kind of leading back up. It's still daylight. Whatever daylight is left is kind of shining in, but quickly kind of runs out as it starts to pierce into the darkness. For Call and Mendax and Ribbons, you guys can see that it goes for about another, we'll say, just 10 feet down or so. You can actually see the floor there. What do you want to do? Do you want to light a torch? Do you want to light a lantern? What's our plan? Or are we just going to have Nigel not see anything?
I think we should light a torch. Might be interesting anyway. What if they are carvings on the wall? We can't see them very well with dark vision, I would guess. We can just...
Right, what if they put all the dirty graffiti down here?
We could, yeah.
They could.
Yeah, could be very TOS.
I mean, if there's not, we probably should leave some.
Was this built by the Centaurs as well? Are we going to see, like, in the wet cement, it's like, Gary the Centaur has small hooves, thing like
Gary.
that.
Gary perfumes his tail.
Gary's a gelding.
Yes, this was, from everything that you can tell, built by the Centaurs as well. It certainly seems wide enough and sort of large enough for a Centaur to make their way down here. So pretty tall indeed for a giant horse creature to walk down this area.
I will light a torch.
Okay, Call, who is bringing up the back, lights a torch, so the light very lights up the tunnel very easily. As you pursue your way down, make your way down, Mendax, you are the first to notice. Give me actually, you don't even need to give me a perception check. It's very obvious with the torchlight that in the corner of the room you see 3 things immediately. One, that the room itself is about, we'll say, 20 feet wide by 20 feet deep. So it's just a big square. The items in this room are much better, or much more preserved, should I say, than anything that you guys have found on the surface. But it still looks like it's in a state of disrepair. Things have just kind of decayed over time. But it does look that this area has relatively been untouched by the elements. You see on the back wall that there is in fact a painting that has been essentially covered in a layer of dust and cobwebs, but you can still make out a likeness to the centaur that's in the center of the plaza, wielding a massive spear, like halberd almost in a way. And you see that very same weapon, in fact, is in the far corner of the room, sort of almost enshrined in front of this painting, as if it's like set into a pedestal. On the same note, you see that off to the back right corner of the room, there's a large hole in the wall, and coiled up next to the hole seems to be a giant snake.
Hello, Mr. Snake. Just wondering if we could borrow that spear over there.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The snake wakes up and immediately attacks Ash. Because you're in
dodge.
The front. What does your dodge let you do?
Uncanny dodge. I don't know, half the damage, I think.
Okay, well, we'll see if you even get hit first. What's your AC, Ash?
15.
15. It hits you indeed with a shocking amount of speed. The snake uncoils itself, immediately seeing intruders into its lair, and it strikes you. It deals a total of 11 damage. What does your uncanny dodge say?
It halves the damage.
Halves the damage. Just halves all damage. That's so fucking overpowered.
When an attacker that I can see hits me with an attack, I can use my reaction to halve the damage against me.
It's so busted. Okay, so you take, we'll say you take 5 damage from that. Give me a Constitution saving throw, as its fangs sink deep into your flesh.
Is this for poisoning or just for, like, not being...
Is this for poison?
Okay, I have advantage against being poisoned.
Of course you do.
Is there anything you don't have advantage against?
Yeah, fucking gloop-looking motherfuckers who steal capes.
Cape thieves, got it.
Yeah. Fucking jello monster piece of shit. Slord Glorpsons. Okay. Constitution save Which would be 15 plus 2 is 17, and then one more is less than that. So.
Okay. You're fine. It recoils
Please sound
back.
a little more disappointed.
It recoils back defensively, eyeing you down and sort of flicking its tongue out wildly to try and get a sense of where you guys are. Roll for initiative.
Two.
Okay. 2.
18. 16 plus 2. 18.
Okay. And Cole?
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I think I get advantage on initiative.
Do you?
Feral instinct. Yes, I'm trying to be a good birdbarian, you know? Like, really
Good
thinking
man.
about my life.
I
You have
dig it.
advantage on initiative rolls. Also, if you are surprised at the beginning of combat but not incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn if you enter a rage. I didn't even know that until today. See that?
Learning. Knowledge.
The puzzles are causing me to grow in all kinds of directions. All right, so I have advantage on this initiative roll. So 12
Okay.
plus 3 is 15, and then 13 plus 3 is 16.
Okay. Nigel, you are the quickest to react in this situation. With an 18, which is pretty damn good. What would you like to do? You're somewhat stunned for a moment with such such a turn of events, shall we say?
You said it's just one creature, right?
One giant snake. Yep.
Well, snakes tend to burn, don't they? So,
Yeah.
how bad does Ash look? Can I tell how hurt she is? Does it look like pretty psycho?
I mean, it's a big snake that bit into her, but she's not like gasping for breath, dying on the ground.
Yeah, we're not getting like a Gothel vibe, like oh god, that just like around anything. So
She didn't just get one shot by a ungodly creature that the DM decided to slap at you guys.
yeah, I think we're gonna go for old time's sake. Then we're gonna
Alright,
bring out the firebolt, don't we?
Okay.
For once, I'm not gonna cower simply because it seems to be fully preoccupied with eating Mendax. So I'm actually not gonna run away. I'm just gonna be like,
Okay.
oh cool, and just shoot a firebolt straight at it. This is about as gallant as I've ever been.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, sorry, I gotta roll to hit, don't I?
Yes.
Plus 6. Damn. 4 plus 6.
Yes, well, I mean, there's a torch burning, so actually I can't even use low light as an excuse. As you move forward to get a clear line of sight to fire off this firebolt at the evil creature, a speck of dust kind of gets up your nose, and you sneeze just at the last moment, the fireball kind of wildly shooting off into one of the corners of the room. Unfortunately, no hiding that one. You just straight up missed.
I glance around embarrassed, and I go, at least I didn't give you another bald patch, Mendax. I promise I'll hit the next one.
The snake hisses back at you. And it is going to strike at you, Nigel. What is your armor class, my friend?
That's what I get for not running away. The one time I don't.
The one time you've got BDE and you
Armor
get
class
fucked.
12.
Armor class 12.
Yeah.
All right. The snake uncoils itself with lightning reflexes and attempts to bite at you. Yet some almost Matrix level intuition, Nigel, you're able to just sort of sidestep out of the way. The snake striking the wall near your head and kind of breaking off a chunk of stone. It hisses as poison drips from its fangs and onto the ground, and coils back up into a defensive stance.
Holy crud.
It almost
Did I
feels
just
like
dodge
a
something with my own dexterity? That's the first time ever. Yeah.
It almost feels as if something nearly pushed you out of the way or pulled you out of the way in that situation. But you look around and it must have been you.
When you've trained your physical attributes to be at peak perfection like mine, it's almost like you're getting pushed and pulled out of the way, like you can see things before they even come.
That's amazing.
Call, you're next up. The snake hissing wildly.
I will attack.
Is that what snakes do? Do they hiss? Is that right?
They do, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's for some reason it felt like a wrong word.
I thought they meow, don't they?
No.
I don't know.
That's dogs.
Sorry.
All right.
It's okay.
So I'll do my double attack.
Okay, you rush forward and try to cleave into the snake.
17 plus 3 is 20 to hit.
Mm-hmm. That will hit. Absolutely.
And a 20 to hit.
Wow. A crit, like natural?
Natural 20 to hit.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Bejesus. All right, do some damage. So the 20, as always, are crits for attacks. 1 maximum damage attack, and then you roll for, like, the extra.
Hmm.
So you're going to do 2 attack rolls, add that together, and then 1 maxed out attack roll on top of that.
All right. So the D12 plus 6, I think, is just the max.
So 18.
So 18, we'll just start with 18. And then D12. 6 plus 6 is 12.
Mm-hmm.
So up to 30.
Yep.
And then 3 plus 6 is 9, so 39.
Yeah, you rush forward and take 2 large slices out of the hide of this. Okay, you sort of Bruce Lee your way over there as you take 2 large slashes out of the side of the snake, blood oozing out of the wounds and dripping onto the floor, making it slick. It hisses at you with rage as it recoils and tries to make itself big in the corner. You can see its, I don't even know what the fuck it's called, fan out. The hood of the snake fanning out, trying to make itself look large and intimidating.
Don't look at me, I tried to ask nicely first. I say to the snake.
Mendax, it's your go.
Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use my rapier and try a bit of a stab.
Okay, go for a stabber.
Okay, got an 11 plus 6, which is a 17.
That is gonna hit.
And then 1d8 plus 3.
How close did you move up to the snake, Mr. Call? Are you staying 10 feet away, or did you move up closer to it?
Yeah, I would just do max range for whatever the weapon affords me.
Okay, so you're not going to get sneak attack for this one, Mendax.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it has to be within 5 feet of him.
Right. Then, I mean, still, it's fine. It's, 6. Yeah, totally. 6 plus 3, which is 9.
All right. 9
then I'm going to
damage.
back off again, yeah.
Okay. And use your reaction to...
Yes.
Okay, great. So you will not be able to dodge if it does decide to attack you. Just so you know. Just making sure we're on the same page, that's all. It's Ribbon's turn. Ribbons will cast Cure on you, Mendax. Being that you backed off and have been the only one to take damage, and he doesn't really feel like he can really do much, he heals you for 8 hit points.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Ribbons!
He kind of just meagerly nods his head. Oh, yes, of course. Your your fucking snake bites that were sort of dug deep into your arm close up and leave no trace of any wound whatsoever. You feel peachy keen. Nigel, it is your turn.
When I fail to set something on fire, it makes me angry. And I come back with a renewed vigor.
Okay.
I didn't have enough passion and commitment in that first
Nigel
one.
enters a rage.
It was the first fireball after a while, you know. My pyromaniac tendencies have gotten a little bit rusty. There should be some dry tinder in this dungeon, and that snake's looking like beautiful fuel. I line my wand up right at the center of its writhing mass. And let's see if I can actually hit something. That's a 10 plus 6.
10 plus 6, 16. Yes, sir. The firebolt spews forth from the wand, smashing into the side of the snake's hooded face.
But how intense was the flame that I created? 2d10s.
Oh my lord.
That's a 2 and a 3. Wow.
Not very, but it was a flame. Yeah.
Okay, a splash of fire.
Just cleaning the tubes out. The next one will burn with righteous fury.
It crisps up the side of the snake's face, who once again lets out another hiss in anger and frustration. It's trying again to try to maneuver itself in a way to get an advantageous position on you four, but it seems it gets the sense that it is vastly outnumbered in this situation. Is this? Oh, sorry.
Am I like? Would it get an opportunity of attack if I back away a bit? Is there any room to back away or not?
You are within its striking distance. So if you tried to back away further, yes, you would. Actually, that's not true. You haven't moved. You can actually use your movement to do an action called disengage, which lets you move 5 feet back, or in any direction for that matter. And you don't provoke an attack of opportunity, but you can only move 5 feet.
Okay, yeah, I disengage 5 feet.
Okay,
which
you back up.
I know for Mendax, that's where she kind of like pirouettes and darts to the side. Carl kind of like just does it very quickly. For me, I kind of just make myself look a bit diminutive and kind of like I'm not a threat, and I kind of just crawl backwards a little bit,
melt into the darkness. Absolutely.
Yeah, Wizard Chad style.
Yeah, you back away. This snake, not wanting to die, flips around and goes into the large hole that is created in the side of the wall and runs away.
See you later, Mr. Snake.
I immediately run over and shoot a firebolt into the hole.
Sure. Go for it. Give me a hit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
13 plus 6, 19.
Yeah, that hits. Give me some damage.
Ha ha! I hope I can hear its pained noise. I mean, because otherwise I don't know I hit it, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10? Oh, 2 10s!
Jesus Christ.
Told you I was just cleaning the tubes out before.
Yeah, you hear a shriek of pain from this creature, as it is slithering away from you. But you listen closely afterwards from this echoey kind of, I guess, gasp of pain, as much as snakes can manage, and you do still hear it slithering away into the darkness. The hole is big enough if you want to chase after it.
Carl, Mendax, if you feel like we could chase after it, I'm happy to leave it be.
Let's not get distracted. We came here for the weapon. The snake was just a guard, a booby trap to defend this location.
Right, but think of the shoes you could make out of its skin. You could probably make a whole matching set, honestly. Pants, shoes, belt, hat, and jacket.
I don't wear shoes.
I wear
the Plague Eaters brought down the Great Gate, entering the city and beginning to burn and raid the World Tree. The adventurers were slowly skinning a giant snake over 3 days and drying its hide.
No. See, you're thinking of it wrong, because when we come to rescue them, we look fucking badass if we're in matching snake skin onesies.
Carl's got like the head of the snake he's wearing as a hat with the 2 fangs coming down.
Oh, come on.
We don't even know a leather worker.
Yeah, I think in our minds we basically do like the survival game crafting thing where like and like it turns into like a really nice suit of armor. But it's more like Freddy Got Fingered where he, you know, gets inside the animal, right?
Exactly. Well, in the 30 seconds that you've discussed this, the snake has probably gone like 200 feet already, so
It's fine.
if you want to keep running, go for it.
We can let it go.
You get the sense. I mean, the whole sort of in the side of the wall. You can see the stone from the side of the wall. It was broken inwards. There, it looks like the snake basically just tunneled its way into this room as sort of a den. So it was essentially just kind of defending and just figuring that you all are encroaching on its area, so it attacked you. But
sorry, Mr. Snake, or Miss Snake.
I mean, he would have attacked you probably in the wilderness too. So
yeah, I need to be less trusting of just random creatures, and talking to them sometimes it's not really on the cards.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, Carl.
It is one option.
Don't sacrifice your pureness. You are pure of heart. You treat all creatures and animals with respect. You don't assume hostility. You know, there's people that bring hostility and bring their past trauma into every new social situation they engage in.
Yeah.
Whereas you walk up to clearly dangerous situations with just newborn innocence. It's beautiful, and never lose that.
Okay.
Maybe lose it sometimes.
You
would think after the 16th chef that's tried to kill him, he would be a little less trusting of those in my world, but maybe number 17 is the good one. You never know.
Yeah, could be 7 fucking.
Gosh, you guys never did meet the chef on the ship. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn.
We weren't supposed to.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to. The one time we follow the rules.
Yeah, crazy. I was like, oh, this for sure will make sure that they go and see him immediately. It'll be the first thing they do. They love that kind of shit.
And we're like, no, we're going to be straight A students.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you're in essentially what looks like a cellar of a storage cellar. There are a few boxes that, again, are essentially decayed. They've held up much better than the other pieces of wood that you found throughout this city. But I mean, if there were any goods inside of the crates by now, it's random animals or just the passage of time has turned them into dust or mush. So there's really nothing of value in here, except you do see a large spear standing at about 10 feet high, sort of on this pedestal that's in the center. It looks like it's almost placed as a like a place of honor. It's revered in some way, if you will. Almost like a shrine in a way. As you approach it, you can tell that the spear is solid stone. So it is a 10-foot tall, probably, I don't know, 4 inches in diameter spear made of solid stone. You guesstimate that it will weigh about 300 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Pretty large.
Should we work together to carry it? I worry about us being able to put it up on the spot. He's giggling to himself. Oh, we might as well try, probably.
Yeah, let's give it a go. I mean, normal people could lift, at least about 100 pounds, I'd say. Fairly easily. And you're super strong, Carl.
Oh, thank you.
And we've got, a couple other people. 3 other people here. We could probably get it up.
Yeah.
If anyone can get it up, it's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could even have Goop help if we get stuck.
Right.
Or we can ask the nice snake person here.
We can use Goop to like prop things as well. He's He's made of pretty solid stuff, being a golem.
That's true. Yeah, he is. How would you like to approach it? And yeah, just kind of give me a sense. Are you like, yeah, just what are you doing?
I'll walk normally towards it, bearing in mind that maybe snakes could jump and attack me at any moment.
Got it.
And then I would go to grab it, and then I would grab it like a normal person, but then use a lot of strength to lift it.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Okay. Carl gets +3 to strength checks. Reroll 11 + 3 is 14.
Yeah, you are trying to lift a very. It's not necessarily the weight that's throwing you off here, but so much as it's the awkward size of just how large this thing that you're trying to pick up is. It's not very. The center of mass is very high up on it, so it's a little difficult for you to pick up. You do manage to pick it up just for a few moments here, but you get the sense that it's going to topple over. So you actually set it back down before it topples over onto you or onto the ground.
We should all work together then.
Definitely.
Or hire a giant.
Oh, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
You have my wand. Also, if there's a corpse, I can make a bob. Is any corpses? You guys saw any?
Nope, the snake is
I mean, there are like skeletal remains in this room, kind of near the corner where the snake is.
Question.
You guys think let's try ourselves, and then if we can't do it ourselves,
then we'll consult
I'll
the undead.
animate. Yeah.
Okay. Are you each just gonna try and grab and lift this up?
Well, since I saw where it was about to fall, I'll sort of guide it as it's being lifted out, and then be ready to pick up the heavy part as it starts to tip over, so it can gently kind of...
Okay. Each of you give me a strength check. Let's see how this goes for you guys. You want Ribbons to help as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Alrighty, Ribbons.
You know when you're
Gets
carrying
in
a
there.
couch and there's always one person on the side with like a finger on it? He can
Pivot.
He can do that.
Oh my
Pivot.
god, I was going to say that.
Pivot.
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 It's a 13 from me.
Pivot.
You actually bring back like traumatic memories of like my dad shouting that at me as I'm like trying to move a couch through a ridiculous angle.
Friends is a good show.
I think that was like the hardest I'd ever laughed at that show.
Oh,
that scene.
Yep. And the when it's total tangent, but when Ross puts on the tight pants.
Oh,
and
the leather
tries-
pants, and he
it's
can't
formed
get
to
it back on.
paste. Yeah, that gets me. Oh shit, that's some good memories there. Anyways, all right, give me your strength checks.
12,
You wanted-
including modifier.
13.
16.
Okay, and Ribbons rolled a 16 as well.
Woo-woo.
Your 4 combined strengths is enough to sort of heft this spear out of the shrine. Call, as you mentioned, you kind of follow it back as it starts to go down, using sort of your body as a lever to prop it up on, and you rest it on your shoulder as you let it fall back. The 3 other adventurers or wayfarers are holding it at one end. Call, you're on the back end of it, having it propped up on your shoulder. It's digging you into the ground, but you're able to use your insane barbarian strength to keep yourself up. You guys have essentially formed. Now you sort of spread out to try and equalize the weight of it. And I assume you start heading back up to the plaza.
Yeah.
Sweet too.
Okay. Yeah, between the 4 of you, this is not too difficult to carry. It was 300 pounds for 4 people is pretty much nothing. So you are all able to sort of work together to bring this to the center of the plaza fairly quickly. Now that you're there, what Call said earlier starts to sink in a little bit more, and you're not quite sure how you're going to get this spear into the hands of the Centaur, which stand about 10 feet off the ground.
If someone were to drink a potion of levitation, could they carry that with them? Or is like if you just have something super heavy, will the potion of levitation not work?
Let's see what it says. Let's see. One moment. Cast the levitate spell on you. Yes, thank you very much. What the fuck does the levitate spell do?
I know it says like you can levitate 5 feet off the ground is what it says, but I don't know if that means, you know, all the shit you're carrying also levitates.
Levitation.
500 pounds, eh?
It says one creature or loose object of your choice that you can see within range rises up vertically up to 20 feet and remains suspended there for the duration. Mind you, in order for the potion of levitation's effect to work, you must drink it.
So
and you
we'll
would
tell
know
the
that.
spear to drink the potion.
Yeah.
Yeah, drink it up, spear. Fucking prude. Just drink it.
Yeah.
You are
But could
not.
Carl drink it have it in his arms, and then when he levitates, take it up with him?
It would. This is very kind of difficult to think of. It would not. It would not let you lift infinity weight. You are not passing on the spell of levitation to something else, so you would need to be able to pick up and carry 300 pounds on your own and be able to place it. So Call maybe would be able to, if he was focusing not even very hard. Call could definitely bench like 300 pounds, but being able to do that plus like tilt it and shift it into the Centaur's hands might prove to be difficult. I will say that, yeah, I mean, 300 pounds for Call definitely is not very hard for him to maybe just hold in the center. But again, this thing is 10 feet long, so that's quite unwieldy. So I will say that Call, with a good enough strength check, would be able to hold this sort of massive object. But as far as being able to finesse it in place, I do not think he would be able to do that. Yeah.
If like two of us were to climb on top of the Centaur and help guide it in as he's holding it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that would work.
That could potentially work.
That could potentially work, yeah.
If only I had
Or
a
end in
potion of
calamity.
levitation.
Do
you not have one?
I thought
No,
that's
I'm
why you
kidding.
asked
I do
this.
have one.
I was like, did you make me do all this for
I
nothing?
just wanted to see your face
I will
when you thought I
fucking
made
end
you.
you.
What if we had 12 eagles working with us in tandem? Nigel, go call
All
out the
12
12
of them.
eagles.
All 12 of them would attack Mendax. So crazy. That would happen.
I pick up a butterfly that randomly is there, and I kind of whisper something in Elvish to it, and I let it fly away. Okay?
It was a moth, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Big
Very
fans.
different, very different creatures.
No, I'm just kidding.
There could be an easier way to do all of this, too. This seems absurd. How would any normal person be able to go through all of this? Was there no clue where we picked up the spear? Maybe a diagram?
No, you didn't. You did not look for one. So
Well, we
Maybe
should-
it's just like a lever. We just like pull it, and then it.
I think
Yeah.
we might be making this way harder on ourselves.
The centaur's already moved the statue, and we're just here like, no, we've got to get the weapon to it.
I would say that for creatures such as yourself, this does seem like a very difficult task. But for a centaur, this would probably not be very difficult.
We're gonna have to speak to Mr. Truehorn after this. He didn't tell us any of this crap, and it's a little
Right.
bit absurd.
Okay. Well, I see there's a couple options. One, Carl drinks a potion of levitation after Nigel and I climb the Centaur, and we help guide it in as it floats up. Two, we find some things like stones or something with which we can erect a quickly constructed staircase, allowing us all to help lift it together and put it in.
Right.
Or 3, rig up some series of ropes and pulleys.
Levers and pulleys.
Levers, pulleys, and ropes.
There's nothing you can't do.
Right.
With the power of physics.
We could call a construction company.
Yeah. I love it. It's the physics episode.
I feel like those are the 3 most reasonable, ways to go about this.
Yeah. You let me know what you want to do.
Unless you gentlemen can think of other ways.
I think the levitation potion option sounds really fun, to be honest.
I mean, we've got it.
Yeah. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Right?
I
Okay,
can
cool.
almost guarantee you that this probably won't work, but I'm absolutely in to see how it goes. And at the very least, we learn a bit more about how levitating works.
Okay. Well, then, the first thing is, Nigel, let's get you on top of the Centaur. You've been wanting this the whole time.
We're going to use Goop as like a stepladder. I'm going to get him to, to help me up a little bit, like a stirrup.
Okay.
Yeah, if only these statues wore saddles, it'd be so much easier.
Yeah, Centaurs don't do that really.
Mm.
Yeah, you use Goop as a stepping stone. Give me a I think it would be an athletics check actually. Yes, an athletics check. With +2, as you have a bit of a stepping stone now.
Hey, Goop with the +2, 13. And I guess I get an athletics modifier +1. 14 +2, 16.
Okay, you are able to barely pull yourself up onto the back of the Centaur. It's still quite difficult. You lose your footing every now and again and kind of just are hanging on not for dear life. You wouldn't die, but you don't want to fall either. And you sort of scramble your way up until you're able to reach enough of a high ground that you're able to climb onto the back of the Centaur. I think you're muted.
Sorry, mount is the technical term. I believe I successfully mount
the back of the Centaur. Yep, there you go. You mounted the Centaur.
Good to be technical.
Mm-hmm.
Step 1
Okay.
is getting the spear into it,
No.
Absolutely. Everybody says that.
First, mount. Second,
Mount.
insert
The
Right.
spear
the spear.
No.
to unlock the secret passageway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Secrets, they call it.
So what we're doing.
lies the whispering eye. All of the secrets will be answered.
Men, next, don't forgive me to give me the potion before you climb up top of it.
Oh yes, I'm going to hand the potion to Carl, and it lasts for 10 minutes. So we do have some time. Okay, but
Ribbons will go with Carl, and Goop will stay with us. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm
Okay.
going to climb up onto the back now as well to join Nigel.
Okay, give me an athletics or acrobatics, depending on how you're trying to get up. Are you trying to like jump your way onto the?
Whichever kind is going to be more acrobatic, because that's my better.
Well, there's acrobat. I mean, yeah, they're. Yeah,
I
we
feel
can
like
use-
I'll
sure,
do
we'll
like a
use
nice
acrobatics.
little thing where I run up from the back, right? Do a little jump, put your hands
Do a
on
little
on
double
its
jump.
rump,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
and then I land that way, and then I immediately I rolled a 12 plus 9, so I'm assuming that I get up there. But I also think that if I did it that way, I'd probably land right on my vagina bone, and it probably would hurt. It probably would not feel great. I don't know if you've ever landed on your vagina bones before.
Haven't.
Onto a large
Say
stone
no.
horse, or a fence, or a bicycle, because you're riding a guy's bicycle and you slip, and it doesn't have the angle that a woman's
doesn't
bicycle
matter.
does.
You can have the most padded mons in the world. It ain't gonna stop you if the fall's far enough. It's still gonna hurt.
Stay safe,
Yeah.
ladies.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What has
I
happened
do
to my
not
campaign?
have
Amen.
padded mons, let me tell you.
You know, I wasn't going to say any of these things, shockingly enough. I was just going to say that you successfully jump up onto the back of the Centaur.
Can you imagine having to tailor pants if you had Mons padded enough to protect you from...
Tonight's episode is rated R. Viewer discretion is advised.
Like your poor tailor.
The camel always has been the worst nightmare of a good
You
tailor.
just put like one down each pant leg.
I just want to play D&D.
I will drink the potion.
I just want to play D&D.
So I'm holding the thing and I'm drinking the potion.
Oh, great.
I will also go into a rage.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Give me a strength check.
Strongbird.
Jesus Christ.
Strongbird.
For the sake of Peter.
12 plus 5 is 17 for the first. And the other one's less than that.
17. You are able to, you feel yourself floating into the air slowly. It feels as if the weight of the spear is kind of slowing your progress, but you slowly rise into the air. You can feel the force of gravity beginning to pull down very hard, and it becomes very difficult to hold on to the spear, yet you persist through. You don't know how long you can keep this up for, though. You raise into the air slowly. After maybe a few seconds or so, you are 10 feet up into the air, about level with the hands. Give me another strength check.
Strongbird. Flying bird. Okay, that's a 1 plus 5. 6.
Okay, that's terrible.
10 plus 5 is 15.
15. You feel your grip starting to give slowly but surely. You are convinced that within moments you are going to let the spear go. You encourage your friends to hurry up.
Okay, I'm going to go move to the front of the statue without knocking Nigel off, hopefully, and reach for the end of the spear to try to start guiding it to the hands.
Yeah, give me an acrobatics check. As you're basically like holding off the side and like
Yes!
reaching out Tarzan style.
Absolutely. I got a 16 plus 9.
Okay. You very easily sort of monkey climb your way around Nigel and hang off the side of the Centaur's, like, I guess, chest. It would be the human chest part of him. And grab the spear. You start to kind of try to guide that into the Centaur's hands. Call, give me a strength check. Now the spear is being pulled and is kind of turning you midair. As when you're levitating, you can't turn yourself or move. You kind of have to push off of things, so you're being flipped around.
19 plus 5 is 24.
Okay.
17 plus 5 is 22.
All right, we'll take the 24. The movement of Mendax kind of pulling onto the spear, trying to guide the handle into the Centaur's hands,
Be careful with that.
sort of shifts it a little bit and actually makes it a little bit easier for you to hold on to it. You're able to kind of put it down almost cross-arm style, and get a better distribution of weight across this unwieldy weapon. Give me another acrobatics. Mendax, Nigel, are you doing anything, or are you just going to be up there?
It's only if there's really room for me to clearly help. Otherwise, I will just stand there.
Would you just watch or like critique?
Oh, I will summon a mage hand and just have put a finger of the mage hand on it to like pretend, to like nudge it in the right direction. But that literally can lift like a piece of paper or something. It's like it's barely gonna make a difference.
Yeah. It's not a lot, that's for sure. Yeah, you conjure up a mage hand just to try to tip the spear into the right direction, feigning that you're helping while in actuality doing nothing whatsoever. And yes, Mendax, give me an acrobatics check here
I got 10 plus 9.
Okay, 19. Very, very good. You're with ease able to guide the handle into the Centaur's hands, and once it has the correct angle, you tell Call to start letting his grip go a bit, and the spear sort of very quickly starts to slide out of your hands, and with a satisfying ka-chunk, kind of lands perfectly into the Centaur's grip. You're all successful in rearming the Centaur statue in the center of the plaza. Call, as you let go of the spear, you raise up another 10 feet. So you're now 20 feet in the air, and you're kind of just floating there. You're kind of eye level with where the Centaur is, its head. Nigel and Mendax, you are still on top of the Centaur, and you feel the like a sudden push. Give me a dexterity save to see if you can keep your balance.
Oh,
And as I keep my balance or attempt to, I'm trying to get just into like pony riding position, because before that I was kind of standing on it, but I'm going to try and you know. Yeah.
It's as soon as the spear kind of hits into the Centaur's hands. So you're unable to get into the ride position, if you will.
16 plus 2. So we'll see if
right.
we can land in that.
Mendax, what do you roll for your dexterity save?
I got a 6 plus 6, so 12.
Okay, 12. Mendax, you are actually not able to keep your balance as you're kind of hanging off the side of this thing. It knocks your foot loose, and you're now hanging on with one hand. Give me a strength check to see if you can support yourself or if you're going to fall to the ground.
Bitch, I shouldn't have eaten so many rations.
I would say something very, like, pop psychology of true balance is to be found within oneself.
Okay.
I got a 12.
A 12. Okay, unfortunately, with the weight and movement of the statue, that is not enough to keep you afloat here. And your grip falters. You were unexpecting that sudden shift of weight, and you let go of the statue. Give me a dexterity save as we hit the ground.
Come on. Oh, I got a 19 plus 6.
Okay, as you're falling towards the ground, you're able to kick off the side of the statue and land on the ground as you see very quickly below you that there is a chasm forming underneath the statue, right where you were hanging off from. But you were able to push yourself out of the way, landing just north of that chasm that's forming as the statue begins to grind stone against stone and move itself out of the way, revealing this chasm, this passageway beneath the statue. You land with a thud. Not really much damage done, though. You were able to avoid any pain, shall we say?
Oh, thank goodness. Too fast.
Nigel, you were able to secure yourself and get into a better position, holding on to the sides of the Centaur as it's now shifting out of the way. It does so for about 15-20 seconds or so until the length or the dimensions of the statue have opened now into a large hole in the ground. Nigel, you're able to jump off as you will.
I give it a little slap on the booty and I say, "Good girl," before I slide on down.
It is a man for sure, but that's okay.
Well, it is
Cole,
now.
The way
After
I
we've
jump down as well,
been
just so you know, it's like, like when I don't
Like
just jump off,
slide.
I kind of slide off it, yeah.
Sure, absolutely. You slide off of the side of the Centaur safely, touching your tippy toes to the ground before letting go of the side. And jumping down, you're next to, it's about a 10-foot by 10-foot just square of space now in the ground. Cole, you're still floating up in the air. You're 20 feet now above this chasm. You look down below you into absolute darkness. You have about 5 minutes left before the potion wears off.
I feel very transcended right now. This is a big moment. Kenku are flightless birds and I'm flying right now. And I just need to take a minute. This is one of the top 3 coolest things that's ever happened to me. So just give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, can I, like, well, I'll give you a moment, Carl, but I have some rope, and I'd like to fasten a lasso that or actually don't even really need a lasso. I'll just, Carl, whenever you're ready, you don't have much time. I'm going to toss the rope to you and pull you not on top of the gaping hole.
Flightless creatures hate us because they ain't us. That's what I say.
I didn't say that.
What?
I didn't say. I said chasm.
I mean, I feel like synonymous. Gaping hole, chasm. I didn't say gash.
I was about to say, gash is another word for either of those.
Okay, I'm coming down.
Okay, give me a dexterity. Yeah, just dex save to see if you can. Well, I mean, it's you kind of have 5 minutes. You can throw one up there. Yeah. So you throw the rope up to Call. Call. You can kind of pull yourself down, out of relative
I assist
danger.
as well, actually. I start prodding him with a mage hand, just like poking him.
Just
in the
poking him. You feel this poke on your back in the relative direction towards safety.
Thanks,
Where are you
Nigel.
poking him?
in the back.
In the back. In the back.
Anyways,
You make it to the
do-
ground.
I do like, though, that Carl has just had a bit of a journey, perhaps, in the gravity deprivation tank. You know, a shame we didn't have any more of those mushrooms from earlier in our adventures. Maybe, I've heard about wizards, you know, when they get together after a local mystical meetup to discuss new spell techniques, and they do often all levitate together after ingesting various herbs, and, you know, interesting adventures sometimes ensue.
it was awesome. I would totally do that again.
Yeah.
If we get another levitation potion, I would like at least a sip.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has been noted in the logs. Okay, you guys are now sort of standing around this sprawling abyss. It drops off into absolute darkness. You can see very little of the bottom where the sort of entryway of the ruins are. There's no stairs or anything. It's just a sheer cliff, if you will.
It's just a pit.
Yep,
Can I light a torch and throw it down?
you certainly can.
I would like to light a torch, take that torch, and then throw it
Yep.
down.
Yeah, you do exactly that. You see it sort of fade, spinning around. It starts to illuminate. You see that it illuminates what looks to be another statue down there, maybe about halfway down before it clatters to the ground. It sort of splinters a little bit as you did sort of chuck it. You estimate that it's about a 50-foot drop.
Whoa. I can climb today. I focused on that when I woke up and had breakfast. So I can climb down. Do we have spider gloves still?
We do still have spider gloves.
How many pairs of spider gloves?
I believe I have a pair.
You only have one.
Do we have any spider
maybe I gave it to
socks?
someone else then. I used to have the spider gloves. Do I still have them?
One of you two has them.
I did have them. But now they're not in my inventory, so did I give them to someone?
The mystery of the spider gloves.
Spider
I feel like I
spider gloves.
gave them to someone at some point for climbing.
Carl might have them.
S. I have Scythe of the Crow, Soul Ring, Stake, Wooden, Strength Potion.
Okay, well, you guys choose which one of you has it. 'Cause they definitely didn't get lost. I didn't give them to Schlorp Globson.
Let Mendax have them because I have the climbing thing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I would write them down that you have them.
I used to have them listed in my inventory, so that's what makes me think I gave them to someone.
I have a plan. What we can do.
Yes.
No, that's not a good plan. This is what we'll do. One person will go down with the spider gloves. They'll go to the bottom, and I'll be waiting at the bottom, and then I will take the gloves using my barbarian climbing skills, and I'll climb back up and hand the spider gloves to the next person, and we can go one at a time like that.
You can climb for the whole day, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Sounds like a good idea. Because I don't really want to slide down a hole this big. And that's basically the edge of my climbing ability, is falling less extremely.
We also all got rope, right? And if it's about 50 feet down, we could just tie off a length of rope to this incredibly heavy statue that no one could even push, and just go down that way.
Totally up to you guys.
Unless we don't want to leave rope up top for someone to follow us.
I could always just go get it after.
That's also true.
Let's do that.
Yeah, you could just undo the rope and then climb down.
Yeah. What I just
you could be the last person.
Complicated. Yeah.
It's really good exercise, though.
Yeah. I did just carry a 300-pound thing up into the sky, so.
That's true, you did.
Yeah.
All right, what's the plan? Give me the deets.
Who makes the best knots? Who's good with their hands?
Definitely not me. I don't like rope burn. It hurts my soft hand.
Ribbons, can you make knots? You can tie bandages and such.
I can tie a tourniquet. That's it.
Isn't that a knot?
It's not a knot.
Perfect. That's your job then. You'll tie the knot.
Oh dear. Okay. All right.
It's okay. No one's lives are at stake except for ours.
Test it a bit before we put a full weight on it. We believe in you, Ribbons.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And he ties a knot. It's just like a regular ass tie your shoes kind of knot, basically.
That was great.
I don't know that one's actually going to hold if it's just a regular shoe tie. Ribbons, I appreciate your effort.
Hey, I have an idea.
Yes.
Of course.
Why don't I just stand up the top here and hold the rope, and you can all go down, and then I can climb down.
Genius.
Perfect.
Great.
We should probably wrap it around the statue leg or something once to give you a bit of extra hold.
Sure. Actually, wait. How long is the rope?
50 feet.
That's
50
not going to
feet.
work.
Well,
It's 50
it'll
feet
give us
down.
enough that we could drop down at
30
from
feet?
10 feet and you're holding it. 10 feet and you're
You're
holding it.
down and you just fall for the bottom 30, but it's fine. You'll only break your ankles. Your knees will be
It's
fine.
Wait,
not a
I thought
problem.
you said it's 50 feet down.
It's a 50-foot drop, yes.
And we have 50 foot of rope. So if we put
Yeah,
it way
50
over the
feet of
statue,
rope, exactly. So
Well, how
if you,
far is the statue from the gaping chasm?
It's right at the edge of it.
Wait, it's not that far.
You would probably need at least, if you just wanted Call to hold the rope,
Yeah.
you would need at least 15 feet or so to wind in and out of the statue.
No, you don't need just around one leg is enough.
Yeah,
the
so
closest
the-
leg of the centaur.
So the leg is it's on a pedestal lifted off the ground, and so that goes up, and then you want Call to hold the other end, right? So then it has to go back down, and so I'm telling you it's 15
Because it's
feet.
up so high.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Wait, how is a pedestal up 15 feet, but the spear is only up 10 feet?
It's not at 15 feet.
Okay.
It's up 5 feet, and then you go up 5 feet.
I got
You
you.
go around deeper in. We'll say
Fair
2.5 feet, and then 2.5 feet back, 5 feet down, 15 feet.
I'm getting
Why are
dizzy.
we going
I'll
in
just
and
hold
out?
the rope.
It's one rope or one leg up.
Do you want to
You
tie it
usually
onto
just-
the centaur's leg? That's it.
No. Oh my goodness. It's okay, this is the
I
rope.
understand what you're saying.
This is one leg. All you gotta do
Yep.
is up one and
Yep.
this.
Back around and then down.
Yeah, but it's not going another 2 feet. It's just going around the same leg.
If I
So it'd
say
be
the foot, if I say the foot
10
is
feet 6 inches.
no, because the foot is not at the very edge of the statue. I'm telling you, it's 15 feet.
Fair enough.
There you go. How about that? You need at least 15 feet of rope, and that is with Call holding it with
Well,
just
we
his
all have
bare
rope.
hands.
We could tie off a second line of rope since Carl's going to be bringing it down anyway.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can just jump in.
No, we won't do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, multiple of us have the rope. Mendax really wants to tie it around that leg. Go tie it around that leg. Live your best life.
I'm gonna do that.
And then I will tie my rope to the end of your rope. That way we have double rope.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You have basic knot tying skills. You feel confident that you can tie the two ends of rope together and that they probably will not break.
Yes. And if they do, we're very sorry to whoever gets hurt.
Or dies.
Yes.
Right.
Do you imagine I kill one of you guys over this? Just think about that for
This
a
would be
second.
hilarious. Honestly.
That would be great. Man,
Okay,
it's my dream.
I'm gonna put on my spider gloves
Why?
before we attempt to go down.
Okay. I'm going to mention to you that spider gloves do basically the same thing that Call's spider climb demon thing can do. You can literally climb vertical surfaces, and so long as it's not like icy or oily or something crazy like that.
You may
Right.
climb on like a ceiling as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Because even though it's actually technically a horizontal, but it's like a roof. Even
Right.
yeah.
You got it.
I've done the exact same thing. Describe a roof before, and I've been like, wait a second, that's the
Wait a
opposite of
moment.
vertical.
That's not right.
So the real question is who goes down first?
I'll go down first.
Okay. How are you going
Oh.
down? You climb the rope?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb the rope. I still have my gloves on just in case the rope breaks and I need to smack a wall.
I mean, you'll be okay as okay, sorry. You're going to climb down. Is that correct?
yes.
Give me an athletics check, just
Let's go.
basically for novelty at this point. But you're going to climb down this rope.
It's a 16.
Okay, yeah. You climb down the rope very easily. Call, especially with a lever point. This weight is no problem for you to hold. Mendax, are you climbing all the way to the bottom if you can?
All the way down. Let's go.
All the way to the bottom, you quickly and easily climb down. You reach the bottom. It is very cold. It's quite deep underground. You reach what looks like almost like a it kind of looks like an under city in a way, where it's a stone floor, again weathered by the ages. It is much cooler, much more damp. You can see there's like mosses and mushrooms that are kind of growing around you. You can see that statue now much more clearly. It is another sort of well-preserved statue. It is depicting another centaur that has a spear and a shield in its hands. At the base of the statue itself is another plaque that's made out of some sort of bronze or metal. It's been very tarnished and again, kind of grown over, but it has very similar symbols to what the other one that you saw that you can't read, unfortunately. The room that you're in now, it's about 40 feet in large in diameter. It's a circular type of room, and 50 feet up that just trails off into the air until you see the opening there at the top. This room it's kind of pleasantly cold, I should say. It does smell very sort of musky, sort of like it's been undisturbed for a very long time. Very dusty. You kick up a lot of dirt and dust as you make your way down here, and you can hear the trickling of water in one of the corners of the room as well. Who's
Looks
next?
pretty clear.
Yeah, Mendax shouts back up, "All clear, I think."
One in the hole. I think we could fit more.
All right, I climb on down.
Nigel, give me an athletics check. You have a rope. What could go wrong?
an athletic guy like me, nothing could go wrong. 9 athletics is +1, 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's honestly enough to climb a rope down. It's not very hard to do these things. You're able to scale your way down the rope without really any issue, and you join Mendox on the ground, sort of looking around at a similar type of scene. You see the torch that's burning on the ground. It did splinter and fragment a little bit, but it is throwing off some light in the room, so you can see a decent bit of it for sure. Very similar, sort of serene scene. Almost, yeah, like a hidden glade in a way. Ribbons will go down next, I suppose. And he very easily is able to also scale down the rope as well. He has no issues climbing his way down. Nigel will say that when you went down as well, that goop was also just kind of sitting in your satchel, and not really making it any more difficult to climb up or down. Yeah, Ribbons scales his way down. He sort of lands on the ground with a soft thud as he drops from maybe 5 feet or so and kind of rehunches back over as his spine has been straightened by gravity. Call, that leaves you at the top, my friend.
I will untie the rope from around the centaur, and then I will unlink the 2 ropes from each other once I've confirmed.
Ribbons, did you make it all the way down?
Yes.
Okay, and then I will untie the ropes from each other, and I'll put them in my satchel, and then I will call upon the amazing powers of demon climbing, and I will climb down.
Okay, sounds great. You sort of like hunch over to get underneath. It's like a 2-foot section of stone between you and the ceiling, right? You're trying to like bend your way over to reach the ceiling, and you're able to sink in your sort of demonic claw energy of climbing, however that exactly works. Yeah, and you're able to scale yourself down the side. As you do so, you reach about halfway down, so you're about 25 feet from the ground. As Spider Call works his way to the floor, give me a perception check.
11 plus 5 is 16.
Yeah, the creature that is right next to you is all but invisible as you disturb its rest. As for a moment you just feel sort of a bit of wind moving next to you, and then you hear and feel the sort of thwack of this tail that tries to smack you off of the wall. But we'll save that for the next session.
Oh no.
Fantastic. Good job, guys, figuring out the puzzle today, but will Call survive a 25-foot drop? Just have to wait and see.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
I wish you would have had some more levitation potion in you, because that would have slowed your fall.
Yeah, he wouldn't have fallen at all. He wouldn't have fallen at all.
What if there were some lingering effects and I just kind of gently...
Nope.
No. We spent too much time messing with the rope.
Yeah.
Damn. I'll think about that for next time. Well, good work, everyone. We've made some progress. We've found our way into the ruin, and then we found the secret passage, which, by the way, Lord Truehorn, we've got a lot of talking to do with him. None of this was mentioned to us, honestly. You want someone to go to a ruin? I thought we were going to walk into the ruin and just go into the passage and just walk through a tunnel, and then we're there. But it's been a bit of a mess, lots of booby traps. But thank you all for your viewership and your support, and we will see you all on the next episode of Wayfarers. Watch out for snakes and stuff.
And falling
And
down.
whatever this thing is.
Gaping maws.
Enlarged mons.
Good God.
Someone help us.
It's not my fault. I've got a wide set vagina and a heavy flow.
Oh, my Lord.